Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
If you're a business owner struggling because of the pandemic, North Dakota's governor has some advice. Check out the help that's being offered through the Small Business Administration. The governor says to date, 8,000 loans have been approved for businesses in the state alone, totaling $1.4 billion. Governor Doug Burgum says don't wait too long, though.
The dollars are quickly evaporating. There is an effort in front of Congress right now by unanimous consent to try to put more money into that.
There's a deadline for applications of April 18th. Burgum says small businesses, sole proprietors, independent contractors, and self-employed can all qualify. New numbers for North Dakota show that 13 people remain hospitalized for COVID-19, and there have been 10 more who have tested positive since yesterday. Overall, 341 people have tested positive, 138 have recovered, and there have been 9 deaths. More people have died in Minnesota from the COVID-19 pandemic. The total death toll in the state is now 79, with 1,695 total cases reported in the state since the outbreak started. 177 people are in the hospital, with 75 of them in the ICU. In total, 909 people are listed as recovered. We saw some more snowflakes on and off today. Here's First Alert Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson with more on what we can expect. Hutch?
Got to tell you, we are still seeing a smattering of snow showers. And we zoom in just a little bit, we can see that basically from Grand Forks through the Fargo-Moorhead area, we're seeing snow showers. Circling Duluth, we're seeing snow showers. And then there's this void in between. But Hutch says we're seeing snow showers in these areas as well. So hit and miss sprinkles of snow, not too much, and the wind not quite as strong as yesterday. Here's your planner in Fargo this evening. We're still going to be cold. Winds about 5 miles per hour to 10 miles per hour, dipping toward the teens during the overnight once again. Here's a look at the dike at East Grand Forks. You can actually see the water getting up there, but water's receding in Grand Forks at this hour. Temperatures tonight will be in the teens. A little bit more cold before I have that's some much warmer news in the extended forecast. Details in a minute.
We'll look forward to that. Thanks so much, Hutch. Well, it was a scary morning for one man when his pickup went into a flooded ditch and couldn't get back out. West Fargo Fire was called to the scene around 2:30 this morning near 21st Avenue West and 15th Street West. Crews found the truck partially submerged in 4 feet of water but couldn't find the driver. He was eventually found at the edge of the ditch and taken to the hospital. His current condition is unknown. Formal charges have been filed against one of the 5 people arrested Sunday night in Grand Forks. Luke Drugas is accused of burglary and accomplice to robbery. Authorities say Drugas broke into an apartment, seriously injured a man, and forced the man to make an electronic transfer of money. 4 others have also been arrested and will likely be charged. All the accused are from Fargo or Grand Forks. Their names and more information can be found on this story on the VNL News app. 23 people have been charged with violating Minnesota's stay-at-home order. In many cases, officers added the misdemeanor charge as a secondary offense onto another crime. Among those charged is a man who allegedly went to a hotel to meet a prostitute he met online. Another involved an alleged drunk driver who got his truck stuck in a construction zone before running off and trying to hide in a shed. The executive order was put into place in mid-March and tells Minnesotans to stay at home unless they are buying food or other limited reasons. Violating an emergency order is punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a maximum fine of $1,000. On the road to reopening the U.S. economy, there's a showdown brewing between the federal government and the states over how to do it safely and who has the final say. Alice Barr has the latest.
President Trump meeting today with coronavirus survivors, men and women who've beaten the disease and could represent the best hope for a return to normal.
We're winning our battle. We're winning our war.
Widespread antibody testing to show just how many Americans have already had the virus is one hurdle to overcome in the quest to reopen the country. President Trump saying today he'll decide soon when that should happen, working with governors, just hours after seeming to accuse Democratic governors of mutiny. Last night, he declared reopening the country is solely his decision.
When somebody's the president of the United States, the authority is total. And that's the way it's got to be.
Constitutional scholars say quarantine authority belongs to the states, and governors were the ones who decided to shut down. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo saying today he refuses to get into a political fight with the president, but
his proclamation is that he would be king. That statement cannot stand.
New York now part of a coalition of Northeast states planning a careful re-entry process. The same thing happening on the West Coast.
It's going to be gradual, incremental. We're going to use data. We're going to use science.
And with governors drawing up their blueprints for reopening their economies, they're now finding themselves bidding against each other for test kits, just like they did for critical medical supplies.
I want to get out of the eBay competition business for vital medical equipment and now vital testing.
Governor Cuomo calling for FEMA to take over buying millions of tests and get them to the states based on need. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Well, President Trump has been leaning toward a May 1st target to reopen the country. Governors in that Northeast coalition have floated the idea of a May 20th reopening. A reminder now that Sanford Health in Fargo is accepting disinfecting wipes and homemade cloth masks in addition to N95 masks. Donations can be dropped off at their location at 3223 32nd Avenue South from 8 until 5 Monday through Friday and from 9 until 1 on Saturdays. A Sanford employee will come out to your vehicle to collect the donations. Also, FM Ambulance Services is accepting donations anytime at a bin just inside its entrance at 2215 18th Street South in Fargo. Essentia Health has also set up a drop-off site for community donations. You can do that at their 1702 South University Drive location in Fargo. Essentia says they are looking for masks, gowns, eye protection, and gloves. Those donations can be dropped off on Wednesdays and Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. As coronavirus upends our daily lives and threatens our health, our homes are transformed into schools and offices. Washington correspondent Kyle Madura looks into whether students and workers can keep up in isolation and whether it's possible to catch up after the crisis.
At least 17 million Americans are unemployed, most financial victims of the coronavirus. Many of those still holding jobs will perform them from home. It's a national experiment sure to captivate researchers who made careers measuring the impact of distance between coworkers.
I love this stuff. It's my life.
Judy Olson and her husband find not all work should be done at distance. The cloud can't compete with brainstorming or troubleshooting in person, but she says little is lost when spreading information, like in a video presentation, and predicts parts of your job may never return to the office.
People are seeing all kinds of things that they can do that they never thought of before. So I think a lot's going to stick.
Experts like Olson say how well work works at home or doesn't depends heavily on what home is like. Experts say the same is largely true for school, but
I think we can assume that less learning is going to take place.
Thomas Tock directs an educational think tank. He says remote learning is testing school systems, and educators ought to simplify their lesson plans to help students get the most out of the rest of the year. By the fall, Tock expects achievement gaps to get wider and rising strain on school budgets.
We're going to have to think as a nation about how to catch kids up.
One potential old school option, extra classes in the fall, winter, spring, and summer. Kyle Madura, Valley News Live.
There's a ton of interesting stuff we couldn't pack into this story. Be sure to head over to our website to watch Kyle's full interviews with both of the experts. Well, still ahead tonight, how the homeless population is being impacted by COVID-19.
Got to tell you, we got some pictures of some snow this morning. Once again, not welcome. Clouds passing over dark and brief, heavy snow showers. A time lapse today shows another wintry day. I'll have some light at the end of this snowy tunnel coming up next.